energy to go about the rest of my evening now when I'm going home. It's not just like dying on the couch until I have to go to like actually go to sleep or something like that.
Yeah. We hear and I've seen like talk of like, well, I train fasted and it's fine. It's like, okay, if fine is what you're going for, but if you are really seeking, performance based push. So the research review was a culmination of like 20 studies. There was 180 participants. Something that they didn't notate or I didn't see mass research review notate, but when we went into the actual study was out of the participants, 168 were male and only 12 were female. And I think that's important to note because women do digest and process, utilize carbohydrates a little bit differently than men do, and can be a bit more sensitive to carbohydrate intake in terms of not having it or having lower carbohydrate. So we can often feel the effects more than male participants. So that is something to consider too. And always friendly reminder, like as we said, with like nuance, when you look at these studies, it's like, what is the size of the population? What are the parameters, the controls? And then for goodness sake, are they deciding to include any women? And in this case, they threw us a tiny bone and they're like, it's 12 women. Here you go. So so that is something to consider there in terms of when we're looking at the effects of certain nutrition around training, because I think also women tend to fall more prey to the low carb diet craze. And like you and I also chatted before we came on here, as far as another recent podcast we were listening to, a great one called Hit Play Not Pause, which is geared towards women through menopause. And one of the RDs they had on there was talking about the effects of low carbohydrate diets on vascular health, which obviously heart health is so important for everybody, but particularly women through the menopause transition is that really takes a front seat in terms of prioritizing your heart health, and how low carb intake can impact like plaque buildup and things like that. And also how your body manages inflammation. Ooh, buzzword, exciting, things like that. And then coming back to like the research paper, we saw like low carb intake can lead to potentially less fat-free mass gain, and impact your high volume capacity for like training, like being able to handle more volume. So I think that's important to note that, hey, that was extrapolated out. We also didn't see the effects from a larger pool of females as far as like what would really happen with carbohydrate intake timed around training. And obviously we'll get into some of the applications here and the effects of it. But that's definitely something I think of note, in that, again, women being a little bit more prey, I feel like, to lower carbohydrate, particularly through, say, menopause, of like, oh, I got to dial back my carbohydrates because my body has decided that storing fat through my midsection is a top priority right now. But really that has to do with a hormonal shift and not due to like carbohydrates. But keeping your muscle mass in general for everybody is so important. Building muscle mass is so important for strength athletes. Hello. So why would you want to cap your potential in building mass? And then obviously the recovery component, and then capping your capacity for how much volume you can take in. So like, let's take PEDs as an example. It's not that they're like magically necessarily helping you just pack on more muscle. They're helping you recover and do more work, and helping your body adapt to that work so you can build more muscle. So why would you want to limit carbohydrate intake when it can help you build more muscle mass and increase your capacity for more work to increase your adaptation? So it's like this kind of full circle moment of like, why would you be upset